Good morning. It is day 81. Yesterday was another frustrating day, but it was most definitely the day of the rivers. Because there's been really good weather, the snow has started melting really fast. As a result, the rivers are pretty big. So have a whole lot of very difficult river crossings yesterday. And like the day before, steep ups, steep downs. It seems like we're going cross-grain to the natural valleys, which makes it nice and challenging. This morning, it is the first morning, no jacket, no gloves. The sun is up. It is beautiful. I'm slightly later than normal. It is just turned 7:30, but not too much later. So today I head down a small valley to a big lake, and then I start heading up a big valley, and I'm up that valley most of the day till I go over a pass, and that's probably as far as I'm going to get, just on the other side of the pass. Body's feeling good despite all the abuse I'm putting it on. Yesterday is a lot of post-holing, which was pretty annoying. I got very frustrated at one stage. Had to breathe and just refocus. So hopefully today will be better, but I don't think so, because the snow is already soft. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And another tiny little lake. Alright, so just came down the big hill, and this is Wilmer Lake. So I go around the edge of the lake and then heading up that valley. Alright, so somehow I have to cross this beast. Absolutely no idea. What I might try is go back to the lake, see if I can cross the lake there. Looks possible. And then cross this river further up. I think normally they cross at the log, but can't get to the log. This side of the log is buried under deep water and a bit of a current. Yeah, that's a no. That's a possibility. I actually see the trail under the water. There's almost no current, and it looks about just over knee height, so I'm going to give that a try. The water height can be deceiving. That was crutch level. I had to go on my tippy toes and hold my pack up to try and keep my hip pockets out of the water, but zero current, so that one was fine. Now I will be having to cross this river at some stage, but I'm just going to keep following the valley up. I'll look for an opportunity, but no rush. More than happy just to stay on this side for as long as I can. Alright, crossing point is just down there, and that's a big no. Too deep, too fast. And coming up here, get across one channel but not the others. So I am not crossing here. I'm heading up the valley anyway, so I'm just going to head up the valley. Eventually, somewhere up the valley, there's bound to be some place where I can cross. I'll just keep an eye out. The terrain's easier on the other side, but I'll just have to put up with it. Such is life. A mile, and it's still no for crossing. Way too deep and fast. There's a couple of major tributaries. I think one in a mile and another about a mile later, and I think after those two I might have a better chance of getting across. So, alright, continuing on. It's not like it matters not being on the other side because there is no trail. So it's just a little bit flatter on that side. That's the only difference. A tributary coming in. Nice crossing point right down there. Delete the last video, wrong tributary. Okay, so this is the tributary coming in. And it's looking pretty fast and pretty deep. So that means that I have to go upstream for this one too. Hopefully not too far. But across here it's gone quite shallow. The main river's looking just as full despite the volume of water from that river I just crossed. Alright, now it's an open bit and I'm just heading in a straight line down the valley. So that's where I've come from. Got hills to my right, really neat rocky dome. That's the way I'm heading, and then more hills to my left. There you go, morning panorama. And that's my footprints, the only footprints. So the sun caps have become sun buckets. They're getting pretty big now. It's making it awkward to try and walk on them. River, it's looking nice and calm, but still too deep. So continuing up the valley. Here's a trick with the going through the trees. You're wanting to stay on the highest bit you can, so you're not having to go up and down too often. So you're going on these little narrow things between the trees, which as it snow's melting, they're getting a lot narrower. Just looking to stay high. Big open field. Oh, hey. Just checking the river. Still too deep. That's alright. Still got a couple more miles before I have to cross. It's definitely getting closer to being doable. There's one more tributary in about a mile, and after that I'm going to see about crossing it. Because the only thing left after that is its feeder lake. Alright, and I have a nice flat bit now, woohoo! Out of the trees. So even though it's difficult walking on the sun cups, at least I can go a straight line. Whereas in the trees I'm zigzagging backwards and forwards. Oh, it's a sign. It's something man-made. Comparative snow survey. Haven't quite got to the feeder stream, but that looks crossable. This is the main river. It's a nice wide shallow part there. The only trouble is getting in and out of the water. I think the snowbank is too tall for me. So unfortunately, even though it looks good, I have to keep going. Okay, this is the side stream, and my crossing point is going to be up near that tree and straight across. River, and look, it's a snow bridge and it's still got good thickness, so I'm going to cross on that. Patience pays off. Rather than risking my life and trying to cross the river earlier, I waited and waited, let some extra tributaries go, and then I got lucky and I got a snow bridge. Woohoo! I'm glad to be across. Now it's time to find a lunch spot. Somewhere. I just had my lunch. I've got the basics, but I'm running out of different types of snacks, which is the first time that's happened. Now it's 3 miles to the pass. I've got a mile and a bit following the river, and then I veer away from the river and head up to a lake. And yeah, I was hoping to get to the pass today. It was going to depend on conditions, but definitely going to do that. And then, yeah, I'll see how far I go on the other side. And there's actually some old footprints I can see. You can just see the little bit of ice that forms on the top of the footprints. So I'm not sure where they crossed the river, but it's a steady climb for the next 3 miles. It is really hot today. So I think I'm going to be heading up that way, and I think the river goes up that way. Right, keeping on going. This is Dorothy Lake, and Dorothy Lake Pass is right at the end of it. Yay! Good to nearly be at the pass. So from here I go around the side of the lake and then up the pass. The sun cups have merged together to make sun furrows. So I have to go in between each one, and sometimes they give way, sometimes they hold. Quite a nice little bowl surrounded by the mountains. Now I do the final little steep bit up to the pass. Ooh, Dorothy Pass, 9,534 feet! Woohoo! It's probably the gentlest climbing of any of the passes that I've done. Out of sight now, but there's a beautiful lake down there, and some beautiful mountains up there. And that's where I'm heading now, down that way, down to the valley. So yeah, still got snow snow everywhere, but there's some pretty lakes there. At least I can sort of see the outline of the lakes. They're still covered in snow, but not as deeply, which is pretty cool. So, woohoo! Dorothy Lake Pass. It's the Dorothy Lake Pass panorama. That's the way I've come. That's the way I'm heading. Alright, from here I'm heading down the hill. There's another bigger lake which I go beside, and then heading down the valley behind those rocks. There's Lake Harriet down there. So basically just hoof it down to the lake. Hey! The trail! Woohoo! It's not very long before we're back into snow. But it's been a while since I've actually seen trail, so this is a bit of a novelty, and done. Alright, so back to the snow. Here's the lake. Well, there was meant to be a log crossing there, but the log's gone. Log's been broken. So once again I have a creek I need to cross. So upstream I go, which is not the direction I want to go. Lucky, it's probably one of the last snow bridges across this river. Right, so I'm across. Hopefully no more river crossings for a while. Whew. Right, down the valley. That's where I've come from, and now that we're on a really steep hill, there's a little bit of trail, which is good because it is a steep hill. Contours just weren't really making much sense. The ground was looking very different from what I was mentally seeing in the contours, which is really weird, but thankfully I found my way to the trail. Zigzags, zigzags, getting down steeply. So this isn't me zigzagging down. I'm glad I double checked before I went too much further. Yeah, there was a junction and this is actually another track. So back up I go. Luckily I didn't come too far. Coming through the saddle and then down the other side, and I am 0.3 miles from the 1,000 mile mark, which is roughly the 1,600 kilometer mark. So pretty excited. See if the others have built anything. If not, I'll have to make my own marker. Oh yeah, look at that. It's the 1,000 mile mark. Woo! This last 3 miles has been really tricky navigation. There's no big features. You know, trying to determine what is marked as a hill and what isn't, and amongst the trees and the snow. Yeah, it's been a good challenge. Alright, so I'm getting close to time to camp. And yeah, time to find a nice spot. I'm heading down that way. Heading downhill following this stream, which I cross on a footbridge at the bottom, thankfully. Oh, you wonderful bridge. I've fallen in love with bridges after my troubles crossing the rivers. Ah, oh, beautiful bridge. The perfect tent spot. That's me. There's that one. There's one other one. Just over here as well. I might just have a quick look at it. I think this one's better. Just a little bit bigger. The other one, my tent would be squeezed in. It is on a bit of an angle, but hey, I can cope with that. It's only one night.